Hello, dear friends. Welcome to this program, our moments with God, our moments with the Word of God, our moments with the love, mercy, and compassion of God, our moments today on Good Friday with the crucified Lord, though here you do not see him exactly with his hands stretched, but the focus is on his face, a close up of his face, and also our moments with our deep inner self, as you will find also in a while that Jesus too on the cross felt all alone. He had only his soul, himself, and the Father that he prayed to. So I have already made a video today for Good Friday and have explained there the meaning of suffering and also how sometimes God himself feels helpless in certain situations. He could not help Jesus even though Jesus had prayed, Father, if possible, take this cup away from me. But God, as such, did not oblige him, because sometimes God too suffers. As he suffered with his son, he also suffers sometimes with our own sufferings and is sometimes helpless. And if you like, you may please subscribe to this channel and share the video with others. This extra video that I am making, I will post it in the morning, in the Good Friday morning, as meditation for the Good Friday. And what this is about is the 7 last words of Jesus. The first words of Jesus from the cross were, Father, forgive them, for they do not know what they are doing. You see, though Jesus had undergone such terrible suffering and was suffering hanging on the cross, he was not so much concerned about his own pain and his own suffering. His concern was more about those people who had crucified him, who had treated him badly, who had insulted him, who had spat upon him, who had stripped his clothes from his body, and who had misjudged him, and who had sentenced him to death. He is thinking of them, not of his own pain, not of his own suffering. And his concern is still that they too be saved. How? By having the forgiveness of their sins. See, his mercy is just overflowing. His mercy and love for people. That's why in the beginning I always say, let us our moments with the Word of God, but with the love, mercy, and compassion of God. But this is the fundamental thing about God's existence and God's creation and God's crucifixion and God's love that overflows for us. That's why he doesn't want anyone to be condemned. He wants them to be forgiven, as he does for everybody. And I suppose it follows that I think we too can forgive everybody. His second set of words were, Today you will be with me in paradise. He tells the other thief. One thief, of course, was still challenging him, but the other thief scolded the one who was making all kinds of funny remarks about Jesus and told him that at least we are here hanging on the cross for what we have done wrong. But this man has done nothing wrong. And then he tells Jesus, please remember me when you are in your kingdom. And Jesus says, today you will be with me in paradise. What a wonderful gift to that man, because he approaches Jesus. He talks to Jesus. He pleads with Jesus. He makes a request to Jesus. And how wonderful it is that despite Jesus' suffering and in pain, he is quite conscious of his request. And he grants him that request and says, yes, today you will be with me in paradise. Jesus invites all of us also to forget for a moment our own sufferings and look at him, look at this beautiful face of Jesus, his eyes looking at you and looking at me with love and compassion. The third set of words that Jesus spoke from the cross was, Woman, behold your son, And then looking at the son, he said, "Behold your mother." So see, even in his last moments, he is concerned that his mother is not left alone. See, he was so human. Don't think that Jesus was God and therefore he did not have any pain and he could suffer. No. He had exactly the emotions of a human son for his mother. It's another matter that these days many of the sons do not have so much of feelings for their parents. They reject them or they ignore them. They even chase them out from their homes or have no time for them, etc. But Jesus wants to show that even in most difficult situations, even if you have no money, even if you have no ways, there is always a way to find to help your parents, your elders who have taken care of you. And he entrusts his mother to the disciple who, as we hear in the gospel, takes Mother Mary with him to his house. Jesus takes care of you and me, of our parents, of our elders, and also of those who have children. He takes care also of those children. The fourth set of words is Jesus says, my God, why have you forsaken me?" Now remember again, this is the humanity of Jesus. This is where he is fully human. As a human being, he's feeling so lonely, so full of pain on the cross, so alone. His disciples have ran away. Some women with their good heart are hanging around there, around the cross, and this one disciple who was there. But otherwise, he was abandoned by his disciples who had all promised that they would give their life for him, etc. But not only that he was abandoned by his friends, he felt abandoned by God. And my dear friends, this is what I was trying to tell you in my other meditation today, that sometimes we feel completely helpless and we find that God has forsaken us. This was the feeling of Jesus. He felt completely forsaken by God. Can you imagine that? Jesus, being the Son of God, feeling forsaken, completely abandoned by God. So sometimes that could be our situation when God does not seem to answer our prayer. And sometimes God in prayer also appears so far away. The fifth set of words that Jesus said was, I am thirsty. This goes further on to say that not only he felt abandoned, he had all the feelings that a human being has in his body of pain, of thirst, of hunger, of all that happens in a person when the person is suffering. And on the cross, almost hanging there for 3 hours, after having carried the cross, he was really thirsty. He was probably also thirsty for somebody's love, thirsty that somebody would call him and embrace him. Maybe, yes, even on the cross, that somebody could hold him tight and pander to him and at least console him. He was thirsty not just for water, he was thirsty for love as well. He was thirsty that we change our ways and come back to him. And then come even more serious words. The sixth set of words were, it is finished. When the final moment for him to breathe his last came, and he said, it is finished. But it was not just finishing of his body, his breath, his bodily death. It was also the completion of his mission. He was sent by God, his Father, to achieve a particular mission on earth, for the forgiveness of sins to die. Remember, until few hours, maybe 12 hours before this thing, he was still praying to God, Father, if possible, take this cup away from me. Maybe he was hoping that God would find another way. I don't know, probably. That's why he was saying, please take away this cup from me. But he then, despite all that, he went through the whole gamut of suffering, of pain, of rejection, of loneliness, and everything. Till the end, he remained faithful to God. He remained faithful to his mission. And therefore, he could say, it is finished. His mission was finished. Sometimes we get very discouraged in our work that God has entrusted us with, or with our responsibilities that God has entrusted us with, and we get tired, and we even say, why Lord? Why me? Why? Why are you not having this taken away from me? Or why are you silent? Or when will this come to an end? Jesus tells us, yes, it is finished. And finally, the last set of words he says is, into your hands I commend my spirit, or into your hands I surrender my spirit. I think you know that this is the final last breath of his on the cross when he surrendered his spirit. There was no other way. And there is no other way for us to seek, no other solutions except to surrender our spirit to the Lord. In all moments, in good moments and in bad moments, in difficult moments and in easy moments, let us surrender ourselves and our spirit to God, whether these are good or bad moments, and God will take care of us as he did take care of Jesus. Yes, Jesus breathed his last, surrendered his spirit, his total self after having finished his mission to God. And he invites us today not to run away from the cross, not to run away from our sufferings, not to be complaining about our sufferings and pain, but to take it along and do it as God's plan and will for us. I am sure you will be able to meditate more deeply on your own and add your own reflections to these 7 words of Jesus. I wish you all the very best, and if you like, you may please subscribe to this channel. Thank you.